So to work this problem, I'm going to find some partial sums. S sub 1, S sub 2, S sub 3. So S sub 1 is the sum as in starts at 1 and ends at 1, negative 1 to the n minus 1 times n squared over 6 to the n. So when n is 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. So negative 1 to the 0 is positive 1. So it's going to, the first term will be positive. This would be 1 squared over 6 to the first. That's just 1/6. And you might want to get the decimal for that. 1 divided by 6, I think it's 0.1, it is 0.1 repeating 6. S sub 2, the sum as in goes from 1 to 2, negative 1 to the n minus 1 times n squared over 6 to the n. So that's the first term, which was 1/6. Now the second term, when n is 2, it's going to be a negative. It's going to be minus 2 squared over 6 squared. So I have S sub 1 in the calculator, so I can just type in minus 4 divided by 6 squared. So I have 0.0, looks like a repeating 5. There's a 6 at the end, but the calculator has rounded up. So S sub 3, the sum as in goes from 1 to 3, negative 1 to the n minus 1 times n squared over 6 to the n. Well, that's going to be 1 over 6 minus 4 over 36. The next term will be positive when n is 3. 3 minus 1, that's 2. Negative 1 squared is positive. So then I'll have plus 3 squared over 6 cubed. And so since I already have S sub 2 in the calculator, I'll just do plus. Well, 3 squared is 9. 9 divided by 6 raised to the third. So I get 0.097 repeating 2. S sub 4. That will be S sub 3 and one more term. So S sub 3, which I have in the calculator, and the next one's going to be minus, and this would be when n is 4. So 4 squared over 6 to the fourth. So I'll just do minus 16 divided by 6 raised to the fourth. I got 0.84876543. Let's go for S sub 5. S sub 5 is going to be S sub 4 plus, now n is 5, 5 squared over 6 to the fifth. So plus 5 squared divided by 6 raised to the fifth, which is 0.08809. I see I have a mistake on my previous step, right?
Yeah,
that should be a 0.
Okay.
A 0 there. So now for S sub 6, that's going to be S sub 5 minus 6 squared over 6 to the 6, which I could reduce, but this fraction, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just do minus 6 squared is 36 divided by 6 raised to the 6. 0.087319959. Okay, S to the 7th is S to the 6th plus 7 squared over 6 to the 7th plus 49 divided by 6 raised to the 7th And we have 0.087494999. I will go with one more, although I have a hunch that we probably have done enough. How do you know if you've done enough? I'm going to break your calculator before the day is done. Then I'll owe you a calculator. Okay. S to the 8th is S to the 7th minus 8 squared over 6 to the 8th. Luckily, my number's still in there. All right, minus, well, 8 squared, that's 64, divided by 6 raised to the 8th. That is 0.087456895. And since I want it to 4 decimal places, I'm looking for when the sum stops changing to 4 decimal places. Okay, I have 0.0874. I think we got it. Well, the next one would be a little bigger. And what about this 5 in the 5th place? I would round up. So it stopped changing within 4 places. And if you like, you could say, well, let's find S sub 9 for fun. S sub 9 is S sub 8 plus 9 squared over 6 to the 9th. So I'll do plus 9 squared is 81 divided by 6 raised to the 9th. It would be 0.087464932. So although it's not changing within 4 decimal places, I'm looking at the 5th decimal place, and if you were rounding, you would bump it up. So 0.0875, that's what I'm going to go with. Although when you type it in WebAssign,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I answered that at some point.
if it doesn't take that, type it in with the 4.